This is Talking Points Memo Muckraker, which, for the firing of federal prosecutors, kept that story going as a blog. Recently, about 2 months ago, President Bush released 3,000 pages of documents. Now, normally that would be an enormous volume to go through for anyone to produce anything of value. What Talking Points Memo did and has done in the past was look to its readers, release that information with a little bit of structure around it, saying we're looking for compromising passages, tell us what you find. They received over 700 comments, some starting within the first few hours after they released it, which then fed a lot of the mainstream media as to what to look for in these documents, right? The other story is that the New York Times is now syndicating blogs from where I live on the West Coast. So they're syndicating 3 blogs to do with technology. So the heavyweight of mainstream newspapers looked to blogs and said, that's great content, we want that content, we'll pay for it. So what's going on here? Well, this is the best quote I can have to tell you what's going on. No matter who you are, most of the smartest people work for someone else. Now, combine that with the image I showed you in the very beginning of this global platform for communication. It's always on, it doesn't discriminate, it likes connections, everything trends to be shared. When this is reality, and this is reality, that most people, most of the smarts are outside of your company. Most of the value is outside of your company. Any single institution can't organize all of that. When you have 1.4 billion people, if you can intelligently reach outside with a little bit of structure and say, help me out, you're going to find a lot of value. I'm going to go into the business world because I deal with a lot of businesses as well. Procter & Gamble now, 35% of its innovation comes from people that don't work for Procter & Gamble at all, right? A client of mine, Best Buy, has a social network for its employees who are now innovating products because they're directly in the line of the returns. So they're changing the products right there, right? So both of these people were media cases where they're looking outside and saying, there's good information to be had here. I'd like to either syndicate it, I'd like to ask you to build on that for free. And what you're going to continue to see is the dissolving of the borders between what is inside of a company and what is outside of a company. Where we resource things from our employees versus where we reach out to customers in paid and in non-paid relationships. Because the other surprising inversion of reality is people actually don't always need to be paid to do things. In fact, they've found that people sometimes will do more when they are not paid, especially on the web. And the reason for that is that the web is a social medium.